I'm not stinky. What you saying to me, you big old meanie cake? You big old meanie Bob. Not stinky. I'm putting my... No, that's not my jacket. There's my jacket. Yeah, I'm cold. It's been windy. It's been rainy. I don't mind that. If I did make it a bit hard to sleep with it being like super windy and you can like feel the house being shaken by the wind. Like, yeah, this is a bit hard to sleep in, you know. But how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. I've still got a decent night's sleep, mind you. Which is nice. There we go. Everything is being... I've just been posting things. Like saying, hey, the stream's live. The stream's live, you silly goobers. Go and watch it. Ow, 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 ow. Hi, Night Parade. How you doing? How you doing? I hope that's the wrong one. That's the correct one. Yeah. Detect evil. I'm not evil. I'm not evil. Oh. Oh, there we go. So, getting things done. Everything's ready. I hope. Ooh, I got a message. What's the message? Oh. There's glue. Yeah, I asked my parents to get some super glue while we were shopping, and then my father sent a message back saying he's got some in his desk. Well, there we go. What do I want to do? Just want to bring up chat on my phone, which is hopefully working. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, chat's on the phone. Okay. We're here. By the way, did everyone see the new battle forces go up? Did anyone manage to get? The Tyrannid one sold out so quickly. My goodness, I didn't. It's a killdozer. Hi, that guy over there. It's a killdozer. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I need to get like another pack of gloves out. Give me a moment. Pack of gloves. Where's the gloves? It should be up here. Glovey, glovey, glove. Wait. Oh. Wait. I swear I had packs of gloves somewhere around. Where did I keep my... Am I out of gloves? Okay, guys, trying not to panic. I should have gloves. Oh, I know where I might have put them. Nope. Okay, they're not there. Oh no, I don't know where my gloves are. Hi Sarah doing, how you doing? I did not. I was really hoping to get my hands on the Famps. Oh no, have they already sold out? You can try different few websites. You might be able to find some. Oh, I know the Tyrannid one sold out really quick. I managed to get my hands on a couple of the Space Marine Battle Forces and the Guardsman one. Because those are the ones I wanted in the end. Okay, I'm checking this cupboard to see if there's any gloves in them. I didn't think I was out of gloves. I thought I had like another box hidden around somewhere and I forgot about it since last time. I know they aren't on my site right now. No. I went through a few different sites. One of the sites I went to was selling them at like a £6 discount. I'm like, yeah, I want a better discount from that. And there was another site. The sites I normally go to often sells out really quickly, but it often has the best deals. But last time the Battle Force came out, it didn't offer a discount at all. But this one actually offered the best one, but by that point I'd already bought one at another really good discount, just not as good as the sites I normally go to. But they're a bit late uploading them. Where would they be? I know I tidied up my room recently. Just give me a moment. They might be over here. Oh gosh, am I gonna have to like do the stream with my actual hands? Hi Tony, how you doing? Oh, you glad it's the weekend? Me too. Actually, I'm not that glad it's the weekend personally. That's because I have my own stuff going on. Okay, that's not. No. 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 Oh goodness. Dudes, I'm out of gloves. You're doing pretty good today. Yay. Oh no. Oh no. Unless we're in this thing. This is what happens when you tidy up. This is why you never clean up. You end up losing everything. You move something and forget you moved it. What even is this? I think I got this for Christmas last year. Mini skin set. Ew. Magic serum. Yeah, those look gross. Oh, I found a little Space Marine head. A Chaos Space Marine head. Okay, I might not be able to have lots of this theme. I'm considering tomorrow's Sunday. It's unlikely I can order any in for tomorrow's stream. How are my fingers looking? No, I broke all my nails the other day. Oh no. Oh no. This is what you get for being unorganised and also being forgetful. Darn it. Get a bunch of disposable gloves and put them everywhere. I did. I thought I had loads still. I had like a bunch of boxes of them because I bought them in bulk from like a medic site. Also like, you know, serves all sorts of places. But I think I'd gone onto my last box without realising it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, my fingers are blooming a mess as well. Oh. Oh, no. No hand cam today. I mean, actually, the hand cam is set up. Oh, my goodness. Wait a minute. I can do like this. I can do this. No. No. There we go. There we go. Oh my gosh, the hand cam actually looks terrible right now. Why is it so dark? Oh my gosh, no, the contrast is just an absolute mess. It's so bright over here and it's so dark everywhere else.
Priest, what does the machine god say about this dozer? It is angry.
Yeah, it's angry. Okay, give me a moment. I've got like some really terrible, horrible gloves I bought because I thought they were proper green. But they weren't. They're kind of just these horrible translucent stuff. Maybe I can wear them. Oh, BRB. Oh. What do you mean I'm still not here? I was here and then I left. It's a BRB screen, not a starting soon screen. I can't find any gloves. Oh, so hi to Lan. And hi Chaotic Erland. I thought I had gloves. I don't have any. I don't have any. I don't even have, you know, like normal gloves. Because I don't wear like normal gloves normally. Oh, so we're gonna have to paint like this today. We're going to have to paint like this today. Oh, so what's wrong with the camera blooming today? It's such a mess. Is it just me or is it like super bright here, super dark everywhere else? I did spend a few minutes before the stream trying to mess it up, or trying to sort it out. I was in a bit of a rush because I was writing and didn't realise what time it was. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hi Quadro, by the way. Video capture device. No, that's not the one I wanted. Video capture device. Come on, work. Configure video. Turn down the... Okay, does that all look better? I was confused by TikTok because I thought your skill was pitch black. No. I'm just wearing like gloves, like sleeve gloves that don't cover the fingers. But yeah. So here you go. Yeah, this is what we've been painting anyway. Oh, I've got a little Space Marine head there, but yeah, this is what we've been painting. And I've done quite a bit off stream. Like, oh gosh, I forgot for like the sponsor there. We got for sponsors. Yeah, the main thing I've done is I've just been neatening a few things out. I've been testing out different things I can do for the metal. And I've also put like, I've just basically coated the entire thing in Agravax Earthshade and then a bit of Northern Oil on some of the metals. I've also tried this cool thing on the barrel there, and I'm going to put it on all of the different gun barrels to make it look like it's just overused and overheated and what. Yeah. Eventually all the sides are going to look similar to this. But I'm thinking before I do any of the rust, I'm going to do like a light bit of dirt along the bottom of the tracks. And then do the rust, and then do a heavier coating of dirt. Representing it got dirty, then it rusted, and then it got dirtier. The top of this is also going to be very dirtied up. So yeah. Oh. Hi Conjuror, hi Talan. And how you doing? Not well. Hello Mercury, I've got no gloves. I've got no of my disposable gloves. You've been listening to America. You make me feel real smooth operator and summer wine. Oh, I hope it's been nice. Oh, I also want to do a bunch of... I do sound like I died a week ago. That's very nice of you to say, Talan. That's... knowing... Oh... But yeah. You make me feel real smooth, operator. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. The phone service must be amazing. But yeah, also I've not painted the bottom of it really at all. Look how nice and bright and shiny it is under there, and look just how dark and grim it is on the top. I am thinking this bit here, because that was meant to be the underside of a chimera, we need to add rust to it, but also we need to add like way more dirt, representing it got... You know, it was really messy under there. The orcs probably didn't really clean it up when they got it, well, where they used it as a roof. It's a bottom part of this chimera. Of course, you know. Well, that's the main thing. Maybe some dirt's in here. I guess that's where the boys will all hang out. And I want to add some like rust onto the killdozer. Also, you can see there where there's parts of the killdos that haven't really been painted black properly. But with the rust and the metals and stuff, it should hopefully get into there, because that's going to be very watered down colours as well. I do like how I've done the claws and stuff though. Like, got all the... Tried making them, you know, from look a bit damaged and scratched. I was trying to go for. Because of the use, so I thought the shiniest bits will be like splaying outwards from inside it. It's Machine Spirit Screams. I don't think it is. Oh my god, it's like 4. No, it's 3 vehicles welded together with bits and pieces from other vehicles. Mainly the Death Dread, the mech guns, and the Imperial Knight. But yeah, it's 3 chimeras welded together basically. And it's pretty cool, I think. We also then need to... I've not been really working much on the goblins other than trying to get the base colours. Although I did add highlights to his sunglasses. You like... I mean, I know they're meant to be goggles and not sunglasses, but I thought it would be really fun to paint them like the sunglasses and just make him look like a cool goblin. Yeah. You know, this guy back here. Oh, sun goggles. Sun goggles, they actually exist, by the way. In fact, welding goggles themselves often, you know, are relatively good sunglasses because they're meant to protect your eyes and the bright light of the welding thing. As well as all the sparks that fly around. But yeah. So, I mean, it's already looking relatively okay, but it's not yet tabletop ready. Actually, no, I'd say it's tabletop ready, and it's been tabletop ready for a while. But there's a big difference between tabletop ready and, you know, me feeling happy with it. Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't really need to paint the goblins' eyes and all the details, but we will. I have to be careful with the goblins, because if we compare them to the art, the goblins don't need eyes. I mean, we will paint the eyes. If we look at this arc, it feels a bit fine, but you see, it's a bit too dark there. And it's definitely too dark here. I'm going to go over it when I'm painting the goblins as well. But we have to make sure that the wash we're using is watered down enough where it won't be too dark, but it's also not too watered down to where it's actually noticeable. Well, that being said, we don't need the recesses of the goblins to be too dark, because the goblins, they're not meant to be that dark. Also, I tried writing war on that screen, but it doesn't look good. I like the highlights on the screen, but me trying to write war was not very useful. I did much better here, and even then I still struggled. Like that middle A. It's not a very good A. Oh, I wanted the paint to look like it's all trickled down. I'm not sure how well I actually did that, to be honest. And then where's the back? Where's the back of the truck? Look at it, it's so cool. I think also, like, at the edges of some of the metal, we're gonna have to put, like, rust and damage and stuff a bit more. Like, you know, all these metal sheets. Just gotta look like spray paint. Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for. I'll go and listen to Seven Goblins by Masayoshi Tanaka. Bye bye. Bye bye, Mercury. You know, I'm gonna just, while I'm remembering, I'm gonna go to the website that I bought these things from. With my gloves. And just buy some more from what I remember. Medisave, that was the one. Here we go. nitrile black gloves. There we go. Yeah, because they do boxes of like 100 of them. Powder free. Yeah, I want for powder free ones because I get eczema. That's one of the reasons why I wear these gloves. These sleeve gloves. It's because I get eczema, especially on the back of my hands, and unfortunately things make them bad. Okay. Oh wait, it says $5.99 there, then I click on it and it says $7.19. Oh, for some reason it doesn't include that. VAT. Small, medium, large. We'll go after these ones. View cart. Save 10% if I buy 10 of them. That's it. I'm gonna have to buy 1,000 nitro gloves. Oh my gosh, I'm saving so much money. Oh no, use that address, use that. What's the alternative payment methods? Is a PayPal? Yes, please, PayPal. There we go. Delivery, yes, it's free. Use same shipping address. Pay with PayPal, yay! Okay. Your dance it pop for grot, cease for stalks out. Okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm getting for gloves while I remember, because yesterday I was like, you know, I should probably just check, but not yesterday. Last time we had a stream and I realised I was out. I was like, you know, after the stream, I'll look to see if I need to get some more gloves because I feel like I'm onto my last box. But I forgot to check. I always forget to. I think about to do something on the stream and then I forget completely about it. But here we go. Here we go. Oh, my little fingies. Yeah, damaged all my fingernails. So I don't really want to be showing my handy pandies. I have very weak fingernails. Actually, I've got like weak immunity. Oh no, so we're gonna paint it. I'm thinking we're going to do for rust next. I want to do for rusty things. The glows can come after the rusts. Okay. Oh no! I broke it! I damaged it. I need someone to remind you. No, I've finished. I've ordered the gloves now. Bow, 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 bow. Okay, what do we want to do though? Oh, one of my brushes, the little lid fell off it. There it is. That's a good brush as well. I don't want the lid falling off. So what we want is, I think we can use this brush.
I dread to see how big that tank is.
How big this tank is? Well, if you think about a chimera, from here to here is one chimera, and from here to here is another chimera. And in terms of width, from here to here is one chimera. From here to here is 1.5 chimeras. And if you include the bits at the side and stuff, then it's like just over 1.5 chimeras width at its widest. And in terms of length, it's over 2 chimeras long. You got a boy for scale. I got a mech boy. I got a banana boy for scale. Hey. There we go. I got Santa Claus to scale. Here you go. Here's Santa Claus. Checking this list. And checking it twice. Oh yeah, I got this free. Because I ordered a load of there's a guy on the Ark subreddit making a banana Ark clan. Wouldn't that just be for bad moons? But yeah, I ordered a whole load of bits to convert for Terminators. Because if you don't know, I'm making 102 Terminators. That is a big project we got going on. And for people who were like sending me loads of bits to help convert them into Black Templar, sent me this weird Santa dude, which is pretty fun. As someone who just ordered their own first set, the tanks are bigger than I thought. Yeah, Warhammer tanks are both bigger than you would expect, yet also simultaneously smaller. Like, if you look at any Space Marine vehicle, or most of them, you'll probably question how all the Space Marines and crew fit inside it. That being said, for other vehicles, the proportions aren't that unrealistic. It's mainly for gun barrels that are. But yeah, I ordered a massive amount of doing like these things, which are shoulder pads for Terminators. A bunch of these loincloth things for Terminators. A bunch of loincloths that can go on any model. It's just to help convert Templars and make them feel more Templar-y. And also, there's a bunch of like Terminator heads. The Orcs wear banana suits and like the colour yellow. Oh, the Bad Moons love the colour yellow. But yeah. So there's also a whole load of heads. I had to like, you know, hold back a little bit on how many bits I was buying because, you know, they're expensive. Yeah, tanks are really big compared to real life tanks. No, have you seen real life tanks? No, like proper modern real life tanks are absolutely massive. Look up the Challenger versus the T-72. There's a picture of it. The T-72 is absolutely tiny next to the British tank. Similarly for Abrams as well. They're just absolutely massive, these tanks, like Western tanks. Look at the Striker. That's not a tank, but it's absolutely huge. T-72, look at that compared to a person stood next to it, of a T-90. Again, they're very big tanks. It's just that they're very small compared to like Western tanks. They are selecting streamers test play the new DLC units and they look so good. Ooh. I wanna... Wait, why are they not letting me test them? Yeah, tanks are really big compared to real life tanks. Yeah, so a lot of modern tanks are absolutely huge. Now, if you compare them to WW2 tanks, you've got a lot of tanks that wouldn't qualify as tanks today. Like the very light, you've got three categories of tanks: the light tank, the medium tank, and the heavy tank. The light tank, we still make stuff like that, and you can. In 40k, the equivalent to a light tank would be... I don't know. I'm actually unsure. I don't really think we get many sorts of light tanks and vehicles. The closest we get is like for ATVs and Viper and stuff like that. Yeah, basically just ATVs, Vipers. Yeah, it's the light tanks in Warhammer that I'm talking about. For Hellhound is super big. That's not a light tank. It's a... So, for Chimera, it's best being compared to the BTR. Well, not actually the BTR. The likes of the Bradley and the... Oh, what is it called? CT... It's a Scandinavian vehicle. C something over C42. I can't remember what it's called. I remember seeing a Royal Engineers vehicle that used the Challenger 2 chassis as a base. I was surprised. But yeah, those tanks are huge. But yeah, those are quite large vehicles. For APCs, they're super heavily armoured. They're really thick armoured. They've got big old tracks, big old engine. But the most important thing is it's compartmentalized. So if a vehicle, like you blow up the vehicle, the crew have a high survivability chance, and the people you're transporting have a high survivability chance. So that's one of the reasons for the size. The expectation is there's a good chance that these vehicles will get blown to pieces. On top of that, they're also so big so they can fit in loads of equipment in to turn them into command vehicles. And the Hellhound is built upon the Chimera chassis. Oh, how it's meant to be pronounced. I always get it mispronounced it. I've seen an APC IRL and they aren't that big. Yeah, the Gavin is tiny, but people don't like the Gavin. It offers very little survivability. The M113 Gavin, it offers very little survivability, has barely any armor on it. It's a terrible vehicle. The only good side to it is it's modular and it can be used as like battlefield ambulances and stuff, or as light artillery transports. Similarly, the BTR vehicles that the Soviets made are equally, they call them rolling coffins for a reason, or metal coffins. In both cases, they're called metal coffins. They're liable to roll, they're very lightly armoured, they barely offer protection. These vehicles are tiny. The more modern ones, like the Bradley, are a lot bigger. But they're still not as big as the Chimera, but you have to remember the Chimera is also designed for space combat. Literally, it's meant to go onto a planet with no atmosphere, and the people inside can still breathe. If we made a tank like that in real life, it would be massive, because you'd have to have... By the way, why isn't a Hellhound considered a light tank? Because it's not well armoured enough. Tanks are meant to be very well armoured, and they're generally meant to have a very big weapon on them. It's similar to how the Terminator isn't really a tank, even though it actually uses a tank chassis. It's because it lacks a big gun, like it uses autocannons and missiles. But on top of that, to use those autocannons and missiles, it ultimately becomes much lighter armoured and much easier to blow to pieces. But the Hellhound is generally going to be faster than your average tank. It's much lighter than your average tank, much smaller than your average tank. Doesn't have the same firepower as your average tank. It's also built on an APC chassis, so it's... If it was built on a tank chassis, it would count. For instance, the Malcador Infernus, it's a tank. Because it's built using a tank chassis, it's incredibly well armoured, it's incredibly bulky, it's incredibly heavy. And equally, it also does carry a lot of firepower, like it can have las cannons attached to it, which are basically tank hunter weapons. So, yeah, the Hellhound is still big though. A light tank would be, oh, what's it called for Striker and stuff? I think it was called the Striker. There's British light tanks that are still in use today, mostly in Eastern Europe. But they're only considered called tanks because they got tracked. They're better described as reconnaissance vehicles, light reconnaissance vehicles. And there's like 3 versions of them, anti-air one, and it's actually, I think we've been starting to reintroduce production of it, so that because of how good it is at taking out drones. There's then an anti-armor one, which absolutely sucks because its cannon was designed to get rid of armor from like 50 years ago. It's useless against most modern armored vehicles other than really light armored ones. And then you've got the reconnaissance one, which is more of an anti-infantry vehicle. And then I think there's alternate versions as well that host mortar platforms. And I think there's one that's also utilized in removing mines and stuff. Hi, Native Engine.
Time
Hi,
for the
TA. How
condemned
you both
cupcake
doing?
to be eaten.
If anyone can get that, it's worth going to Buffington Tank Museum in Dorset. I've been there a few times. The collection goes back to WW1. It's a very impressive collection. Yeet. But there's also a few places in Britain you can buy tanks and stuff. But yeah, what we're going to do today is this stuff. This rusty stuff. Oh, let me get my paints. There we go. What do I want? I want Gargunter, I think. I think the Gargunter is good. Gargunter, there we go. You're just dropping in for a little bit this time as you're going to lunch with friends. But wanted to say, hope everyone's doing well today. Oh, thanks for popping in. I hope your lunch with your friends goes well. And I want this orange. Not yet. Oh. Generally speaking, modern day, we do want to make tanks and vehicles smaller. But we also recognise that smaller vehicles generally mean compromising the safety of the crews and soldiers. And generally we believe that at least in the West, we believe that the crews and soldiers are more valuable than any assets, 99% of the time. Like, a tank can be rebuilt. We can build a new tank. Training up another soldier, though, takes years. And getting all the equipment. Like, a good soldier is worth more than any tank. It takes longer to build them up. And as a result, if you believe that 40k follows a lot of the same design philosophies and then adds into the fact that most vehicles have to be space survivable in no atmosphere environments, the sizes start making a lot of sense. But yeah, for now, if you compare them to WW2 vehicles, they do seem quite big. But if you compare them to modern vehicles, they're not actually as big as you might think. It depends which vehicles you're comparing them to. As I said, Western vehicles can be absolutely massive. But there's a reason for that massiveness, and unfortunately, I don't think we can assume that the Imperium follows the same design philosophy that like NATO does. Of, you know, survivability of the crew being important. I find it funny that the vehicle that would be the worst survivability of the crew is the one that the Space Marines used. Yeah, I think the case visually they look like oversized WW2 tanks. Yeah. Except for Guardsman vehicles. Well, actually, the Rust feels like a WW2 tank. The Rogel Dawn and the Chimera and the Hellhound, though, feel like actually I don't want to use this brush. I'm struggling to get a good detail of it. Like, I want nice thin lines and it's not giving it to me. Where did I put the little thing. Where are you? Oh, there it is. For Chimera for Vogel Dawn, don't feel like WW2 tanks, at least not to me. They feel like modern vehicles. Well, maybe not modern. They feel like 80s vehicles. Early 90s. I mean, that's where a lot of these things originally were designed and stuff. I know a lot of their design philosophy comes in to play. Hello, War Boss Megagort. Stop shaking, please. I'm not shaking. I really like the Dawn. It looks like a tank of a future you'd see in some pulp comic. Yeah. There we go. Oh, so hi, Clemonia. How you doing? War Boss Mega Orc. The biggest. The bestest. Is that for Thunderhawk cannon top? No, that's an Imperial Knight cannon. It's meant to have that shield between that part and that part, but instead it has the shield here, acting as a portcullis. Looks cool, thank you. It was meant to be a battle wagon, but it turns out it's a bit too big to be a battle wagon. So it became instead a battle fortress. Although in friendly games I imagine I can still use it as a battle wagon without people getting too upset. To be fair, I never had a battle wagon. So I always thought they were absolutely massive. There we go. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, thanks for cool to me. Oh, why did it turn me into banana? Yeah, this is looking like good rust. Looking like good rust. I might want to use a different brush again. This brush is a bit too small. Too dainty. I'm struggling to get good coverage with it. Okay, I got a different size brush to go for now. I'm in a banana mood. No! Banana mood is worst mood. You gotta get going. Bye bye, TA. It was nice of you to pop in. Okay, is this the correct one? I think, no, that's a treble 0. I want the 0. There we go. Yeah, I'm using just watered down gore grunt to fur contrast for those who are interested. I'm just creating the effect of rust with it. And then I'm going to go with a very watered down Magdrog flame or Magadroth flame, whatever it's called. To make it a bit more orange. I mean, brown is just a very dark orange. So... we should ban Anna. Yeah, ban Anna, whoever Anna is. Not orky enough. I'm joking. There we go. Oh, nice is better. Trying to add all the rusty details to it. Yeah, oh yeah. Make the lines look a bit rougher. There we go. Yeah, then it's like, oh yeah. All rusty. All rusty. Anna is a Swedish bot. It is. Never heard of it. It's a Swedish clanker. Darn clankers. Only good clanker is a killer can. Or dreadnought. Death dread. There we go. Roger, Roger. There we go. Oh. Song by Bass Hunter. What's Bass Hunter? Thanks all the love hearts. Bass Hunter. Oops, Bass Hunter. Not the fish, it's the music. It's the guitar that everyone made fun of in bands. It was like, no one likes a bass guitarist. Then in the future, everyone loves the bass. I was with it once, and then what it was changed, and it was confusing and scary, and it will happen to you too. Oh, now that looks like a rusty mess.
Reese's Puff, Reese's Puff, eat Reese's Puffs.
Never! What's a Reese's Puffs? Are those peanut butter things that you see in some of the sweet shops that are really overpriced? I don't get out much. Okay, I think this one at the back will do light to rust on it. Reese's Puffs is a cereal. It is? Never heard of a cereal before. Is it like Cocoa Pops? And Nestle. Nesquik, that's the one. I have Cocoa Pops bars all the time. It's for like fortified with folic acids and stuff, and that's like super important for my diet. Because a lot of the stuff that has it in, unfortunately, I can't eat. I'm short in folic acids. Need to try eating more liver. Liver and onions. Isn't that like a joke from The Simpsons? Homeless guy who created Itchy and Scratchy. Like liver and onions. Sugar Puffs for the win. What about... Well, no, Lucky Charms is a breakfast cereal, but I don't know if we have it in the UK. I don't think we do. I think it's an Americans thing. I've also got that weird rainbow cereal, and it's like, even as a kid, I don't think I would have wanted to eat rainbows for breakfast. That is where Americans definitely confuse me. We're Britain, we put sugar in everything. Like beans. Reason British baked beans taste good is we fill it with sugar. Oh gosh, that's really bad there. That's fine. Oh, where are we going? Where are we going here? Sorry, I think not realising I've not got any gloves really just knocked me for one today. Knocked me through a loop. So if I feel a bit off or seem a bit off, that's probably why.
Oh sugar, oh honey honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me
sugar.
wanting you.
Oh honey honey, you are my candy girl. We used to have Lucky Charms in the UK when I was a kid, but I think they discontinued them. Oh. All I remember as a child was having Nesquik and Cocoa Pops, and we had those, oh, what do we call them? The crunchy ones, the ones with the adverts is like from eating one another. Also mini Weetabix. I loved mini Weetabix. Turns out it wasn't very good for me. Okay, we're just going to give that a few moments to dry, so when I turn it over onto its side, it won't be bad. Oh, honey, oh, sugar. Oh, honey, honey, you are my candy girl. And you got me wanting cheese. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It wasn't Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It was basically little chocolate pocket things. Like it was just wheat crispy things surrounding chocolate. They're called munchers or something like that. It was. I didn't have them as a kid though. Oh, Rice Krispies was the other one. And oh, you had those ones and you still got them because every so often I'm just like really crazy. Oh, Frosted Flakes, Frosties, Cornflakes. But you've got like these Rice Krispies and they've got like this little weird spaceman that I absolutely hated as a kid. But I really loved the actual cereal itself. Oh, I'm craving them again. I don't think I've seen those before. Yeah, they might have just been a British thing, because I think originally they weren't even a cereal. And then they turned them into a cereal. Yeah, cereal is really bad though. Oh my, it's much improved since like when I was a kid. Actually probably improved when I was a kid, and it's much better now. Because it's like I have these Cocoa Pops bars because they're fortified with vitamins. And they're not that high in calories or anything like that. They have a little bit of protein in them. But they're just good for someone like me who has a stomach condition. So I can't eat many foods. And I can't eat too much at once. But they contain like 20% of all your essential vitamins, including folic acids. Okay, that's how it's looking from one side. That's looking pretty nice actually. Like that looks like a destroyed vehicle, doesn't it? Yeet. Now we're going to the other side. Oh, Crave! That's the one. Yeah, Crave. You're correct, Night Parade. But yeah, now onto this side, but this side, the other side has the bar on it, so it falls over all the time. I am sorry that my fingers are a mess at the moment. I broke all of my nails at once. It's all this Warhammer hobby and stuff. Having to open things. Oh. Also, I was trying to I got a bunch of because I got a bunch of these, you know, Terminator shoulder pads. I was taking all of these shoulder pads. I put Graphis shoulder pads on my own Terminators I had already built. So I was prying them all off to put some of these shoulder pads on. And then I collected them up so that I've got shoulder pads for my heavy intercessors. Yeah, because I like to put one Templar shoulder pad on each character. That vehicle is sick. Thank you. I definitely really liked the final result we kind of got with the vehicle. It's for a Death School tribe, if you couldn't tell. The little bit of yellow there is because we stole a car door from the Bad Moons. And we're now using it to hold in price a bit of a Space Marine vehicle, an Ultramarine one. Oh. Here we got that gun there. I don't know why the camera's struggling so much today. I'm gonna have to figure that out again. How's the teeth looking on that one gobbo? Yeah, definitely need to fix up the gobbos a little bit, mind you. They are... Some of them need a bit of work done, like fixing up where I put the teethy stuff. Oh, at Crave we did have that. Can't remember what the ads were like. Ultra Arc. Yes, Ultra Archy. I'm trying to think if we had any rainbow coloured cereal. I don't think we did. We might have had a couple of them. Oh yeah, if you're wondering where all of this stuff's from, it's just if you go to Green Stuff World or somewhere similar, you can get these corrugated plastic cartons. I wanted to get different patterns, but I like this pattern and it was the only one that was in stock. Oh gosh, that was not sealed properly. I'm shaking this bottle up and it was not sealed properly. I really liked Weetabix minis though, with the little chocolate chips in them. I also liked Weetabix. Like, I really liked to turn my Weetabix into porridge. Like, do you know, if you just let them soak and then you microwave your Weetabix with your milk, you can turn it into like this thick, goopy porridge. And I loved doing that as a kid, just like with a bunch of sugar. I'm like, yeah. Oh. I also liked, what's it called? Just actual porridge, as you can imagine. Just got to be careful. I have to put my hand underneath it to stabilize. Crunchy nut. Oh yeah, crunchy nut. I remember crunchy nut. I never liked crunchy nut. Probably because of the nuts. I'm really not a big nut fan. Like, I didn't like hobnobs because of a nutty flavour to them. And some chocolates that had, you know, hazelnut in. Some of them were fine, but sometimes I could just really taste the nuts in them. I'm like, ugh. Not a fan of hobnobs. Yeah. Digestives are cool, although I can't really have many digestives. Jaffa cakes are the best biscuit, but not a biscuit for a cake. And that's why they're the best, because they're little cute friends. They're little cute friends that you don't eat. You buy up and you got a packet of like 20 friends. It's like, oh yeah, 20 friends. Remember, cakes are friends, not food. Jaffa cakes. You don't know what a Jaffa cake is. You don't know what a McVitie's Jaffa cake. Okay, imagine a tiny little cake the size of a biscuit, like a digestive. And on top of it is like this orange layer of Jaffa, like it's an orange jam or jelly, whatever you Americans call it. And then on top of that, you've got some relatively dark chocolate. And they sell them in packs of 20. They're the bestest friends you can ever have. You know. Half moon, half eclipse. Oh, Terry's chocolate orange though. Oh my goodness. I love Terry's chocolate orange. Not Terry's, they're mine. Yeah, they're mine! Oh. I'm really sad that Cadbury's got bought up by that American company. It feels like ever since they got bought, the quality's just gotten worse and worse and worse. I mean, I did go a few weeks without having any, like a few months rather, without having any Cadbury's, just because. Or really any chocolate. And then I had some Cadbury's chocolate and I was just like, oh. This honestly sucks. It's been so sad. I used to love Cadbury's. And apparently they're no longer, you know, using sustainable practices anymore. Like, oh. I used to like the chocolate oranges, but I can't eat chocolate anymore. Oh, how come you can't eat chocolate? Did your taste just change, or is it like me with my like stomach condition, where it's makes you ill? I guess a bit more rusted on that side than I really meant to, but whatever. It's actually relatively normal to have one side wearing out far faster than the other. Now this one is special because it's upside down. I'm imagining it rusted the correct way up until it was eventually turned into a big old orc fortress. So the rust is going to have to go upwards. Your one sprinkle was nice. No, don't eat that. Bombard me like that. So mean. So mean. I get heartburn that lasts for days if I eat it. Oof. Every so often I get some heartburn related to my illness, but that's more just overproduction of stomach acid normally. And I just have to, what's it called? Sleep in a more upright position. If you ever get heartburn like that, if you don't know how to handle it, one of the best things you can do, oops, sorry, I'm not even showing it on screen what I'm doing, is to, what was the saying? Oh yeah, is put up cushions under your mattress. If you've got a mattress, put some like pillows or cushions or just something under one side of your mattress, do you know where you sleep? So that then you'll be sleeping at an angle, slightly raised up. And it works wonders for helping with heartburn issues. Like, because sometimes in my stomach condition, I end up getting this thing where I just end up just like producing way too much stomach acid and there's nothing to really do about it. Other than just wait until my system calms down again. Take a Rennie. Yeah, Rennies and stuff help, but sometimes when you get heartburn, that isn't really enough. And also sometimes, like with stomach conditions and stuff, you don't necessarily want to be taking a lot of stuff like that. Bananas sometimes gives you heartburn. Yeah, I can't eat bananas. I should be able to, because it's like for things. Well, actually, with like my condition for diet and stuff I look at, it says like everyone is different. Some people will struggle with certain foods that others will find really easy. And sometimes there'll be foods on your list, on this list, that you can have, even though most people will struggle. And there might be some foods on the list that you struggle with despite being considered a... It's called FODMAPs. And found it very helpful for my condition. At least as for a guideline thing of knowing. Oh gosh, my tummy is actually really bad right now though. I used to take Rennies like when we were going out to fashion until I managed to isolate for cars and cut out chocolate and coffee. Ooh. I take Rennies only every so often because heartburn medication unfortunately can have side effects or my stomach condition. I do find them to be quite a useful thing. Otherwise, do you eat grots? Never! I'd never eat a grot. Grots are adorable and cute. Why would you ever eat a grot? We love goblins. We love our gobbos and grots on this channel. Yeah, grot revolution. Look, have you seen any orcs on this vehicle? No, it's just covered in really cool goblins. Really cool grots.
Grok.
Grot? No, not grot. Grot's mean. Grot's bad. No. No. Grots begins with a T. Grots are what they call the smaller orcs or the goblins. The orcoids. The smallest ones are called snotlings, while the other things are squiggly beasts. The other little, basically walking mouths that are usually seen as red or orange.
Wog.
Wah! Wah, Cuptle, not wog. The purple orcs and that tank never, wait, purple. I don't know what purple is. I once told eggplants were purple, but I've never seen an eggplant before. So I wouldn't know what colour they are. Like my hair. Some of it's just invisible. Oh, I like that painting, that model someone made ages ago. And it's an orc painting itself purple. And it's got a bucket full of purple paint. And all the model is like two arms. And one of them has a paintbrush. And the other one's holding the bucket. And like the paintbrush is over where its head should be. And it's just like looks like two floating arms, and the entire thing is balanced by the bucket on the floor. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's a great way to like use spare bits to make a commando orc. Like, got to be one of the best commandos I've ever seen. Yeah, so that looks like it rusted. Oh, that looks like it rusted upside down. That's what I'm trying to go for anyway. I love when Orcs is painting his bike purple and it just slowly disappears and he's like, my bike. My bike! This is why you're painting your bikes fast. You know, I thought I painted my bike purple. Turns out, no, someone just stole it. You can't have any bikes in Britain. Do you know why Ultramarines are the best chapter though? Because Arcs think the colour blue is lucky. And what colour is the Space Marines for Ultramarines? They're blue. And what are they? The infinite plot armor of the Space Marines. Because they're blue.
Ultramarines are not the best, they're the worst.
Go back to James' workshop. But yeah, if you're wondering why Ultramarines are so lucky and have so much plot armor, because they're blue, and Arcs think blue is the luckiest colour. Although the Ultramarines here weren't that lucky considering the Arcs stole part of a vehicle. Because that's her part. This plate here is part of an impulsor.
There we go, 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 there we go.
Don't spam like that, please. But also, look, Ultramarine symbol. Oh. Crimson Fists are also blue, and they seem to have bad luck when fighting Arcs. Yeah, but for Crimson Fists, though, they're like a darker blue, and that's just not as good. That's more of a fighty blue rather than a lucky blue. You want to be a nice ultramarine blue. But considering that for a long time the Crimson Fists were actually the poster boys of Games Workshop before the Ultramarines became the poster boys. Maybe the Crimson Fists were lucky. And the Crimson Fists are also really lucky, because remember that Space Marine book with the Imperial Fists? That would have been the Crimson Fist if Games Workshop didn't decide to suddenly change the Crimson Fist into being a successor chapter and replaced them with the Imperial Fists. And the Crimson Fist would have all the really bad Ian Watkins law as a result. So they're really lucky there that they avoided that dumpster, the Book of Infinite Memes to make fun of the Sons of Dawn. Rest in peace, Medusa Kylon. Titus will become the new chapter master. I don't think they'd make Titus the chapter master. Calgar is too iconic. And even then, Cato Sicarius would be first in line before Titus. And there's a host of other Space Marines that would be before Titus. So yeah, there's a host of... And you've also got Fentress and stuff. You'll... But they'd have to figure out a way to kill off a lot of characters if they did that. Titus is going to replace Gulliman, no. As much as people like Titus, I think the fan reaction would be just generally bad. Because if they focus on Titus and more Space Marine games, they'll eventually have to make him a new Primarch. No. I imagine that for Space Marine 3, Titus will be a captain again, and that's it. And it looks like Space Marine 3, I imagine it'll probably be, or possibly be, Necrons will be the main antagonist. Although I think it'll be really fun to have Tau be the main antagonist. With that being said, the 500 Worlds campaign could eventually end with the Tau. And as a result, the Tau could make quite a fun main antagonist, but already know it was tertiary antagonist, a bit like the Thousand Suns in a way. Although they were the main antagonist, but the Tyranids feel like the much more iconic antagonist than the Thousand Suns. So I think it would be Nurgle, not Slaanesh. Because Nurgle also has like a really big presence in the Ultramar system. Especially if the 1000 Worlds campaign is going to do what it's going to do. 500 Worlds, sorry. It will likely go all the way up to the Tau. So I imagine the Tau could be a really good starting like enemy / ally as Nurgle comes in. It'd be really fun to have an enemy that you start fighting for the first half of the campaign, then end up having to ally with for the second half of the campaign. And then you go back to punching the face in. That'd actually be really fun. We should do that, if that wasn't already the plan. Also be different to fight an enemy that is mostly shooty. Could be Tar's the initial enemy, but it's a field they ate on a 2 mode halfway through the campaign. Yeah, on the, what's it called, the Space Marine 2 game, they are on a 2 mode. Because remember, you have to fight through a 2 mode, although all the Necron's already dead in Space Marine 2. When you go in after that rogue tech priest. Give me a game where you play as Abaddon and you do the 13 missions of final mission of splitting Cadia in half. I think you can do that in Battlefleet Gothic, but I'm not sure when they didn't play the Chaosy stuff in Battlefleet Gothic. And we only played Battlefleet Gothic 2. It would be fun though to get more Chaos and Xenos focused games. Like we've already got a bunch. We had Fire Warrior, but I don't think that was as successful as people wanted for the Tau. And we've had a bunch of really good like Blood and Teeth and the playing game that we played, the Squadron, although that one got really boring really quickly. Or just more annoying to play through as we got further into the campaign. Started really nice though. And you got Speed Freaks, which was okay, but then it turned out it was mostly just a multiplayer focused game. Your 5th faction is Chaos? No, my favourite faction... I don't really have a favourite faction. I'm building 40,000 points of Black Templars. And tomorrow we're going to start a stream. Well, I've got to have a stream where I start building for 102 Terminators I've got for my Black Templar. Dark Elder definitely used to be my favourite when I was a kid. It became my favourite. You want to see them do a game focusing on Chiron and what's his name? Is it Agamemnon? I can't remember his name now. Oh my gosh, look how rusty that is. No, Chiron's dead. Chiron died against Gene Stealers. It's confirmed. We might be able to see it in like Space Marine 3 or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know what the focus of Space Marine 3 is. It would be fun if you get to play it in Space Marine 3 like a prologue or whatever. Prologue. Or like you get a cutscene of it. Gene Stealer Cults as an antagonist. That would be really good in a game like Darktide. Or Vermintide style game. Or roguelike. We need more games that like imagine COD or whatever those types of games, but you play as a guardsman. Like do you know for really old COD and Battlefield ones? Not the modern ones where you're kind of always elite. But like the ones where you're just constantly spawning in and doing the same death trap over and over and over again. Would be fun. Whose reach is better? Similar to Halo Reach. Halo Reach was kind of a fun game. Although I kind of regret playing it first. It was just first in the Master Collection. Would have had way more emotional impact if I played it like after 3 at least. We still need to play 4 on the channel. There we go. How's it looking? There we go. Yeah, rust is not looking too good. Let's try to make it a bit more focused. There we go. And then this goes like that. Okay. There we go. Yeet. Oh no. The thing is, I don't really care about the captain from the previous game, from Space Marine 2, because he's just a generic Phobos captain. I think it's relatively clear that they originally didn't seem to intend for it to be too much of a canonical game. Oh, a detective-style game for an Inquisitor would be fun. Like, there's definitely a lot of room in Warhammer for a wide array of games. And I think an Inquisitor game could definitely be one of the parts of the wide array of games. Like detective work. Oh, Among Us, but Warhammer. Or maybe not Among Us. Like Professor Layton in a way, I guess, maybe. Or like one of those horror games, I guess. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You got some of those hot, like, you know, Silent Hilly stuff. Resident Evil. Some of the Resident Evils anyway. I guess there really is a lot of games that you could possibly do. I think a more horror related one would definitely work though. Okay, I went way overboard there. It's fine. Maybe I could use the Yakuza games as a template. Maybe. I think the issue with using the Yakuza games as a template isn't like the Yakuza game massive budget game like AAA. Which, I mean, I know Space Marine 2 was. Well, I imagine most games that they will be releasing won't be that sort of insane budget. Although I might be wrong, I've only really seen the newer Yakuza games, and they do seem very expensive, because any game they do release will effectively be released on the idea it will probably not be a big hit like Space Marine 2. Like Demon Hunters, Mechanicus itself, and all the other games they've got. I've been writing lately. And one of the things I was writing is like for this pillar of belief system for one of the factions within a game. Well, not game, within the story. I was looking at it and trying to think about like how they would behave. I'm like, okay, I know I want them very like related to death and very death focused. So that's one of the pillars of the belief system. And I want to get like across of their belief system. It's like all you need to do is know their belief system to know how their society is going to act. I'm like, okay, 4 pillars of their belief system: death, violence, because it's like it's very hard to escape violence in real life. And even if you do personally escape the violence, it doesn't mean that you're not necessarily bringing violence. At least that's probably how they look at it. So yeah. Can just copy up a cop game? Yeah. Hi, Thunder Nugget for Terrible. How you doing? But for yeah, for violence, death, hunger, and then I was like, okay, propagation. I was trying to think of like a word for it. I'm like, to be more like an opposite of death without just saying life. I was like, oh, propagation. And then I remembered the 4 pillars, not for 4 pillars, for 4 horsemen of the apocalypse: death, famine, war, and pestilence or conquer. If you don't know, before it was pestilence, it was conquer, and before there were harbingers of the apocalypse, they just were things that existed. And originally only death had a name, the rest of them were just whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute, maybe that was the idea? Because the conqueror one is also like meant to be seen as an antichrist. And maybe that was kind of the idea, like if you associate death with heaven and stuff like that. And you got this this thing of like, because propagation can mean anything. It can mean like giving birth, having children and a family, growing food, disease, all sorts. Because everything propagates. That's what life is. So life is to continue propagating in one form or another. I'm like, oh, that would be really fun. So now I need to figure out how to get like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse into my story. How have you been doing? I've been doing okay-ish other than this cold that doesn't want to disappear. Seen you be playing lots of cool games and painting lots of cool minis. Well, we've been painting one cool mini, to be honest. And I also painted this little fella recently. Yeah, we painted this little fella recently. I'm not actually sure about the original concepts of the anti-Christianity. It's very confusing. Because if you don't know, there has been lots of effectively Bibles over the years and writings. And what we consider the Bible of, well, there's actually multiple different Bibles and versions today. But there've been hundreds that have been constantly changed and edited. And a lot of it comes from, if you don't know, actually originally ancient Egypt. With well, the ancient Egyptian religions, that's where a lot of it comes from. And other similar like Mesopotamia and stuff like that. There's a lot of different religions. And when you try like tracing back a lot of the origins of a lot of terms, it gets very confusing very quickly. And you were just basically a lot of guesswork. I like religious mythology. And Abrahamic religions are really fun just because of how easy it is to trace back so much of it, but then how confusing it gets, especially considering through Christianity, you had so much power grabs by different people, like you had King Henry VIII making his own religion. And then you had the popes deciding, hey, we need more money and stuff like that. And people constantly, as a result, change religion to facilitate themselves. According to Terry Pratchett, pestilence retired and was replaced by pollution, something to do with penicillin. Yeah, I remember that, because that's in Good Omens, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty interesting to analyze. It is. And if you also look at Christianity, a lot of it mixed with the European religions that were already in place to make it effectively easier for people to accept it. Hence why a lot of the dates we use and stuff line up well with old religions, but not other Abrahamic religions. It's all very interesting.
La 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 la. I will never be afraid again. I will keep on fighting till the end. You can walk on water, I can fly.
Please don't spam Cuptle like that with the same sound over and over again. I saw a funny little cartoon about a fifth horseman who was just a guy on a phone. He was misinformation. Yeah. I find it funny how they have become like, signs of the apocalypse and stuff. When, the more I think about it, it's potential like they were just aspects of life itself. And there's also a good chance that they originally came about as... because if you look at the original description, it's very similar to some of the Greek gods. Like you got Mars, Pestilence or Conqueror, as they were originally known. Oh, what's this? The guy who had the bow. But the Greek god with the bow was one of them's particular. But yeah, Pestilence originally had a bow. And was one of the Greek gods specifically is very closely related to that. And then obviously you got Death and Hades. Or Pluto. There we go. Now we call Greek gods mythology, yeah. I mean, technically, we also call the Abrahamic religious stuff mythology. Like, I really like religious mythology, and that's exactly what, like, if you study Christian religion. In fact, a lot of Christian mythology isn't even in the Bible. It's Bible adjacent. Some of it is, some of it isn't. Some of it's mentioned, but the descriptions and stuff we know of it aren't in the Bible. It comes from the things that the Bible instead references. It depends on what version of the Bible you're reading itself, if it even has these descriptions. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, I've been doing that. Norse mythology. No, we do call it Christian mythology still. Because mythos doesn't mean it's not necessarily religious. In fact, when we describe mythos, most things that refer to as mythology are religious, specifically connected to religion. Not all things, but a lot of it is. Otherwise, it's like folklore and legends and stuff like that, but it often ends up getting told instead. Like things like Dracula. Or, well, vampires in general. They go back very far, but we call that more mythology, not mythology, folklore, rather than mythology. Yeah, lots of stuff's too modern to be pagan derived. A lot of it is, I mean, everything is actually, a lot of Christian traditions are modern, but they do derive from pagan stuff. For instance, Halloween. Okay, Halloween, not a Christmas tradition, but Halloween came to America from Canada, who got it from Scotland. Except we didn't call it Halloween. We didn't even call it All Hallows Eve or anything like that. Trick-or-treating was instead called guising, because you wear a disguise and you'd sing a song and you'd get money or treats or cakes. And but that tradition dates back much further on until you get to, again, pagan mythology and stuff. It's like everything effectively goes back to some sort of pagan religion. Like if you go back through the Abrahamic religions far enough, you'll end up getting to other religions before the Abrahamic ones. Oof, gosh, I'm warm. It's funny how Dante's Infernos and other works had so much influence on people's concept of Christianity when it was explicitly made to be a work of fiction. You get a lot of stuff like that. Do you get some things that are in Christianity today that were considered heretical when they were first derived, or first written? So, but then somebody else hundreds of years later decided to look at it and go, hey, you know what, maybe they did have a good idea and they put it in the new Bible they were writing. Some of the Christian saints were actually local deities that were incorporated into Christianity, yeah, and had their origins altered to make them human, yeah. The word demon originally is very much similar to, in fact, actually, one of the things I loved to do was comparing how Islam evolved to how Christianity evolved, and a lot of it comes from basically the local religions that already existed in the areas. So the same way that they have jinn, in Christianity we have demons, but demons effectively comes from a word that means spirit or world spirit, and it didn't refer to something that was evil or good. It just referred to something that was a spirit of the world. Like, so local gods, ghosts, fairies, pixies, gremlins, well, maybe not gremlins, goblins. A lot of these different ideas and concepts. Some of them were considered benevolent, some of them were considered evil, some of them were considered neither. And eventually they all got tied up in the word demon together. And that became Christian. And even then, originally, it didn't necessarily mean evil or bad, but eventually it got tied up to being evil and bad. In part, as rulers and stuff wanted more control, and were like, okay, we've got these things called demons, and some people still worship them. We need to make sure that they're worshipping their Christian gods. So we'll just tell everyone that it's evil. If we went back to the dark ages of mobile phones, I would think we were a demon, potentially. Or a saint, one or the other. And one of the fun things as well is that there are some saints that were burned at the cross. Well, not burned at the cross, burned at the stake, sorry. And we call them saints today, but they were killed for heresy and, you know, evil witchcraft and stuff or whatever. But then after their death, they were posthumously forgiven and said that they weren't practicing witchcraft. Instead, they had gifts from God. And, you know, and then you had others that were considered saints at the time, and then afterwards they were like branded heretics. A lot of it's to do with like political games and gaining of power and stuff. Oh yeah, the demons in Warhammer are much closer to the modern concept of jinn than demons in Christianity. Yeah, if we wanted to incorporate Araby into fantasy, they'll have to rewrite a lot of the lore, because quite a bit of it is a bit racist. Yeah. I think one of the fun things about reading up about all of it, so I'm waiting for this to dry, by the way, so I can touch it again. Well, fun things about reading up all of this stuff, it doesn't necessarily say that the religion is wrong or correct or anything like that. Like, it doesn't necessarily change your belief. But it is very fun to look at how it evolved. I also really like the Shinto religion, do you know, the Japanese religion? That one is, I like that one because it actually has a lot of parallels with European religion, especially when you start looking at like how British religion formed before Christianity and stuff. And it's like, you can see a lot of parallels there because both of them are island nations close to the main continent. And as a result have a lot of influence on that main continent, but also have a lot of their own traditions and stuff that evolved. And it's really interesting. Look at the Knights Templar, French king classified them as demon worshippers, and didn't like a Spanish king also do that? One of the reasons it was so effective is because so many kings effectively owed the Templars a lot of money. Because if you don't know, the Templars effectively reintroduced banking to Europe. They are often incorrectly described as having created banking or having created European banking. But banking existed long before the Templars, and like China, India and stuff already had a lot of banking going on. And in the Romans and the Greeks also had ideas of banking. And they actually thought, like the Romans themselves, you can actually read real history about how they actually did banking. And it's very similar to real life in many regards. But yeah, the Templars effectively reintroduced it, specifically for the Crusades, because people would need money, but they wouldn't necessarily want to carry that money with them on a crusade where it can get stolen. So instead what they'll do is they'll effectively bank with the Templars. They say, hey, here's a whole load of money. I need a banknote. And that means they could go to any like Templar hold across Europe or the Middle East and basically say, hey, I need to get some money. Here's a banknote that's been signed and stuff. Inverted cross is an interesting one. It used to be a common Christian symbol for St. Paul, I think, but at some point it changed to represent the devil. Yeah, I think that one was relatively recent. It's a bit like, do you know, for Omen, introducing 666 as a devil's number, which I don't think it actually was. I think it was something like 616 was the original devil's number. Still looking for a Holy Grail. Where is it? Scotland? No. It's not in Scotland. And then those could become the modern gym in the Warhammer Araby mod. Yeah, the Jinn. We could have a king who is a mashup of a Solomon, the Magnificent, mixed with the mythology of King Solomon, who could tame some of the demons and have Warhammer magical powers. Yeah, I think that Araby would be a very interesting thing to add in, but again, it would be a massive rework similar to adding Cafe in. Not Kislev. Kislev was already like really, they already had models for Kislev and a lot of lore for Kislev before they added Kislev to Warhammer, Total War. But for Cafe, they had to like do it from scratch effectively. They only had a little bit of lore and like ideas of what was in Cafe. Araby already has a lot of lore and stuff, but a lot of it doesn't line up with modern lore, because a lot of it was written at the same time as like the fact that Warhammer had bolt guns and power swords, and the old ones are from 40k, and a lot of that lore is really old, and it just doesn't line up anymore, and a lot of it is very questionable. There's so much magical things to draw on to incorporate. It is a very interesting one to have this culture that's very magically inclined and is very rich from trade and spices, but otherwise doesn't have the same population threshold that other cultures do, like Bretonia and whatever. And having access to magical spirits and djinn and stuff, and being able to do loads of summons. That would be a really fun faction. How is this? Okay, that's dry. How does it look at the moment then? And it's looking all rusted up and messy. I think we need to put a layer of orange over it now, very watered down. Just to go with it. But yeah, if that's looking nice, I say it's looking nicer. It's looking more like a rugged arc vehicle. Yeah, I like how what I did there. The Devil's Number changed a lot. It was possibly part of a number game. Romans like to play changing names to numbers. It probably represents a Roman emperor like Nero.
Flying Carpet Bombers by ATCH.
Oh, did it say hello, man? That's a pretty cool tank. Thank you. But yeah, I didn't do the same. I wanted to do that less rusty than I actually did. But it's fine. I'm not sure what I want to do here. Originally I just wanted to paint the face blue, but keep like the bronze and stuff, whatever, but I didn't water down for blue enough. So, and then it ended up just becoming the entire thing around the face was blue, the face being partly blue. Might just repaint over the entire thing. How are you doing? I'm doing okay, but I forgot to buy more gloves, so... Aladdin had a flying carpet, yeah. Rust is a war paint of Gark and Mark, yeah! Have they confirmed where what's-her-name Drika's gonna come from? Like, I imagine it would be really cool to have her from Koresh.
Rust is the war paint of Gork and Mork. What?
Yeah. I'm out of cola. Onto the water. Oh gosh. Once we've got all the rust done and all these plates done, I then want to focus on the goblins, and then once the goblins are done we can focus on getting the glow done and then making like some more writing and stuff. Okay, just let me make sure this you have to shake contrast paints really well, because they get all this stuff at the bottom of them, all the pigment. I'm going with some Magma Dwarf Flame. Yeah. I was just going to be extremely watered down. Grots! Grots, grots, grots. Technically that's a goblin, not a grot, because it comes from the Dwarven Minor Kit for Old World. If you want to find where you get you get about 4 of them, I think, in the set. If you get the Dwarven Minor set. Your message was blocked. Oh. You're going to drink the known oil, Cuptle? You're not allowed to drink the known oil. It's wrong. What is that? What is what? Known oil. Known oil is one of the shade paints that everyone loves. That Games Workshop makes. Yeah, see, now it's becoming a bit more rust coloured. I want the brown below the rusty colour because I'm having to water down the rust quite a lot to make it work for me. Army paint to speed paint is the best for weird washes? Maybe. I wouldn't really know personally. I don't really use army painter. I'm a Citadel gal. There we go. Yeah. I am thinking about maybe getting some of those speed paint markers. Because I've seen someone who used a Sharpie, to pick out details on models, like, of the gold stuff, gilding and stuff. I thought that would be really cool. I should get some of them, like, try something like that. Because I always have difficulty getting those raised things, personally. Yeah, the Citadel pots aren't fun. I have had some issues with them. I'm getting a bit overzealous with this stuff. Army painter for life. You can like both of them. There's no need to pick and choose. I just primarily go for Citadel because it's UK based and it's a 1-0. Is it the best? Probably not. I need to learn to be a little less overzealous. Maybe. Maybe I'm using the wrong brush for it. Maybe it's because I don't need to go as far over with everything. Dawn of War Army Painter for the win. Dawn of War Army Painter. Where am I going? Where's my brush? There it is. Thank you, Mal. I'm glad you like it. Is the boss's battle rag up and running? No, it can't run. If it ran, it would run away. We can't be having that, can we? Don't want your battle wagon running away. Like some sort of grot. Nurgle decided to give me an early Christmas present. No! Unless you're meaning he got some Nurgle models. How's that looking? Is that looking rusty? Kind of. You've got a runny nose. Oh, I've had a runny nose for weeks now. Not be able to get rid of it. Even after getting rid of my ear infections, my sore throat and runny nose has just remained. Been really annoying. I've heard it's like a really bad virus going around or something. And maybe that's what I've got. You bought 2 dedicated models of Trench Crusade. Yay! How's your Trench Crusade stuff going anyway? Hope it's going well. You're finally free from a week of non-stop work. Yay! I'm glad. Get some good old rest then. And have some fun while you can. I sneezed 7 times in a row during dinner. Oh. Hope you're feeling a bit better now. Okay, let's wait for that side to dry then. Or did everyone manage to get a battle force if you wanted to get one of our battle forces? I know some people haven't been able to. Oh, I'm gonna go quickly onto the website because I'm also gonna give my little back a rest so that I can sit back properly. Oh my goodness, that feels better. That feels better. Yay. You have made an orc song. Nice. Oh, pre-order now.
No, not the website.
No, we're always under website. Yeah, I managed to get one of these. And wait, let's look at see how many of them are still available. Temporarily out of stock. But only temporarily out of stock. Let's look. All the new stuff. So for photon stuff's not out of stock. That is unsurprising considering how much old stuff's there. Oh, the Tau one isn't. The Emperor's Children one's available while stocks last. The rest are temporarily out of stock. Warhammer, not. Let's just go on to new and exclusive all pre-orders. What other stuff's out of stock? So the Skaven one's still in stock, so is the Gloomspike gets one, and the unsurprisingly Silver Neff one. The ones that have sold out are... Yeah, this one sold out like instantly. I was really surprised. But the Vampire one sold out instantly. I'm actually surprised about that one because I normally the Age of Sigmar, Battle Force and stuff stay on sale for absolutely ages. But I mean, this is quite big savings, I guess. I'm guessing Soulblight Gravelords must be really popular because they did really push Soulblight Gravelords for a while, didn't they? Right. Yeah. I guess if it must just be super popular, which is kind of unexpected. I did want for 1 for 2 Dreadnoughts, but they came out a bit early for me. Need to wait and see if they are still around when you next paid. It looks like they're going to come back into stock, so you might be able to get them. I played a game which now has turned into a first game of a campaign. I lost 13-14. One of my models died permanently. And Innie got promoted to Elite. Ooh. Oh, and one got promoted to Elite. Well, that doesn't sound too bad. Sounds fun. But yeah, for 2 Dreadnought 1, I was debating whether I should get them or not. Do you know any of the Battle Forces? Because I'm like, I've still got so much to build and paint. And I'm like, well, then no, I didn't want a shop haul. I wanted this new pre-order.
Keep Gork and Mork in my heart, keep me orcish. Keep Gork and Mork in my heart, I pray. Keep Gork and Mork in my heart, keep me orcish. Keep me or.
Please don't spam Cuptle like that. If you do it again, I'm going to have to temporarily... I'm going to have to give you a bit of a temporary ban. This is the 3rd time now. Yet don't spam Cuptle with the same like words or thing over and over, please. I don't mind you using Cuptle, like saying keep Gork and Mork in my heart, keep me orcish till my dying day, but doing it over and over is a bit... But yeah, this is not a bad thing. I got 2 of these ones though, because I need 2 Ballistus Dreads to finish my defense detachment. I need 2 Redemptor Dreads to finish my plasma detachment. I need a whole load of Hellblasters, and 5 of them is just not enough, so I need 10. And these 2... there's a bunch of Sternguard I want, because I have all the Sternguard from the Leviathan box, is what my Sternguard are. And I really like the proper kit that has all the options in. And I really love this stuff. The company heroes. So I end up getting a couple of these boxes. Also got this, because this is what I need to like round out my infantry detachment for my guardsmen, my infantry regiment. I love artillery. We need all that artillery. It's a nice song. Cuptle can't sing in rhythm though. Kill Team Death Watch. Oh. No, the funny thing is that I've noticed recently, if you go to like 40k, not that one, 40k pre-order, have they put the canoptic stuff? Yeah, the canoptic neck ones aren't here, like they're not here for 40k pre-order. If you just go into this pre-order, you can see from here. So it's kind of weird. Oh, thanks for sharing his song. Da, 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 da. I mean, I wasn't gonna fully ban you, but thanks for popping in, Warboss Mega Arc. It'll just be a temporary thing. Oh, there you go. So, but yeah, all of these things have come out. And thankfully it says everything's temporarily out of stock, so hopefully that does mean they'll come back into stock. But yeah, how's this looking? Is it dry yet? Oh, still a little wet. Still a little wet. There we go. Oh. Oh, how's that looking now? Look at that. Look at it. It's all rusty and smashed up. Oh. It's looking closer to being finished. With each and every paint. We're going to have to go to the other side. We're going to have to go to the other side. And paint it here too. Yeah. There we go. Open this up. Oh, wait a minute. I know something I didn't do on this side. Or did I do it? No, I did do it. That's good. The top part. That was super fun. Gonna get a sniper priest. Oh. I don't really know much about the... What's it called game? I forgot what it's called. The game you've been playing. French Crusade, that's the word. Sniper priests are blind 9-gun hobos. They're blind. How are they going to be a... Are they like that one character from Rogue One? You know, who was blind, but the Force was with him? I am with the Force. The Force is with me, something like that. Their faith and God aims for them. It'll be hilarious if they've got like a ballistic skill of 6.
Your vehicle looks like Smurf Spy.
Your vehicle looks like Smurfs. That's because it's Death Skulls. But thank you for popping in, Warboss. And staying with us. Oh. Here we go. There we go. And we stole Schmuff parts for it. There we go. Yeah, this is better. Not going too overzealous with the orange, having it very watered down. And just highlighting where all the brown parts are. That's what we want. You don't need to go over all of it, just enough to get those orange highlights in and trick the eye into thinking all of it's rust. That's how we do it. A lot of art is just tricking the eye. We can get 7 dice to hit. In Trench Crusade, all hit on 7+, and you take 2 best dice. If you have a positive modifier, the 2 lowest. You have a negative modifier, so yeah. Like, best chance to hit. Oh. How do you hit on 7s? Is it like on a D10 system? Or do you like add 2 dice together? Is that how it works? I really don't know Trench Crusade too well. I just know what some of the miniatures look like. And some of the social response to Trench Crusade. There we go. Painting, painting, painting. Time out. That's the word I was looking for. I remembered the word. Time out. In Trench Crusade, a standard roll of a dice, 2d6, is 7+ hit. A positive roll of modifier of 1 means 3d6, pick the 2 highest. Negative modifier means 3d6, but 2 lowest values. So a bit like how leadership checks work in Warhammer. You get 7, so your sniper rolls 7 dice. And you choose the 2 highest or the 2 lowest, depending. That's way too much on for brush there. The sniper priest with sniper gets +5 hit dice modifier and ignore long range. Long range means -1 to hit modifier. Long range is your weapon range above half range. Okay. So they sound like they're pretty powerful. I'm guessing games of Trench Crusade then must be played with like very few models. They might be more like Necromunda style or Kill Team. Because I can't imagine trying to fire like 5 squads of 10 men where every single time you have to roll 2 dice for every single model shooting. We play with like 7 models, that makes sense. You could have Trench Crusade D&D with that few models. Already sounds relatively similar to D&D in many ways. But instead of each person having like their own character, you've instead got yourself like your own squad. Hello, Tail. Don't worry about being late. There's no such thing as being late. Towards the end of a campaign, you can play with up to 20 models. Ooh. Yeah, it sounds very similar to Necromunda. Especially like if characters are leveling up in between campaigns and stuff. Start with a relatively small selection of a gang and then you expand upon it. Sounds like Necromunda to me. What are you painting? I'm painting a Battle Fortress Death Wagony thing. I made and converted.
Puff word of the day. Norble, the god of tummy aches.
Hi, French Puff. Noble for god of tummy aches. Noble must hate me then. Why don't I have chat open on my phone anymore? Skip. I found a way to insta-kill any armoured enemy in the game. The tank splitter gets to put away a dice as a 6, and the Dragon Slayer ability allows you to do the same again. That means auto kill any enemy in the game. Ooh. That sounds like any enemy, like even special characters and those really big tough guys. I mean Nurgle, but I said Norbulk. Yeah, Nurgle must hate or love me with the amount of tummy aches I get. Yes, stop motion's also known as paint games. Do you remember paint games? How you doing, Talon? And how you doing, French Puff and Tail? Hope you're both doing well. You're doing good. Yay! I'm glad you're doing well. Oh yes, I remember. You're remembering. Yay! I can also make one of my models an angel with a battlefield upgrade. He can equip the Ducal Wing Armor, which is the best arm of the game, as it gives -3 to wound and a 10-inch move with fly. Ooh. That sounds cool. Imagining doing each of these things is like expensive in points or whatever your costs are. As also you might have a super elite army capable of doing super cool things, but then your enemy might just push you with numbers or whatever. Because that's one of the things I always had with 40k and fantasy, which I could do loads of cool things, but they're expensive and added up. As a result, I often didn't get to win games of them, but they're fun to have. But that's just where the balance of the game comes in. Yeah, YouTube is weird sometimes. YouTube's gone super AI with all its stuff, and it's just been making so many false positives and so many false negatives. Yeah, safe for work, chat. Yeah, at least we didn't get banned. Well, that's one of the reasons I'm trying to be careful with a lot of stuff, because of how crazy YouTube's gone. And I just wish there was like something else. Like Twitch is owned by Amazon. I don't really like Twitch to begin with. Kick is, oh my gosh, it's Kick. I definitely don't want to be on that thing. And it's like, what other streaming service is there I could be on? That's not like horrible. Yeah. I mean, you have to be careful and stuff with the swearing as well, guys. YouTube being YouTube. Although I think it, at the moment, it technically actually helps to have a little bit of swearing going on, so that YouTube doesn't automatically categorize you as for kids. So I guess the occasional one is fine. Because I know a bunch of people have had their channels suddenly switch to YouTube for kids because that's what YouTube decided they are. Got streaming on, see, I can't exactly stream on Chinese ones. I mean, I could try, probably wouldn't be very good. I hope if they add a light tank, or what did you say, armoured weapon transport or something in Trench Crusade. That could be cool. An APC. Armoured fighting vehicle. If I owned YouTube, I would start by bringing back the dislike button. I mean, it exists, you just can't see how many dislikes there are normally without modding your YouTube experience. I don't mind losing it, to be fair, to be quite honest. Like, that's partly because I just don't want to see all the negativity and stuff. I mean, I'd offer people the option to be able to see the number of dislikes, potentially. I'll also offer creators the option to turn that off so you can't see the number. Even if you want to see the number. Yeah, Trench Crusade Cavalry would go hard. I imagine the models would be more expensive. But if they do want to go plastic, I think that's a big thing. And it makes sense. They want to be in control of their own production and not reliant on 3D printers. Which is... And also it makes it way more accessible because not everyone has access to 3D. Like, I don't have access to a 3D printer. And 3D printers are expensive. How's that? Oh, that's looking rusty as heckus. There we go. I got way too much orange on that then. Just split the cost of a 3D printer among 10 people and suddenly it's no longer expensive. And that's why some of these local game shops have 3D printers in them now. But it's like, for me, I'd only be able to get an FDM one because I just don't have the space for all the extra stuff you need for 3D resin printing. And even then, it would take up a lot of space, be very big, require me to learn a whole load of stuff I don't really have the time or energy for. I do buy 3D printed models, but even then, a lot of the time, it's not necessarily cheaper. The main thing I go for 3D printed stuff for is parts. Like, do you know, for conversions and stuff. That's what's really cool about 3D printing for me. I wouldn't be surprised though if eventually they change the game to make it bigger, like more models per side, and then allowing for tanks and stuff to come in and bigger models. Because if they're going for plastic, that means they're kind of trying to take control of production. And by making it more accessible and making plastic models, they'll be able to sell more if the games are bigger. Like, one of the things that Games Workshop does for like their Necromunda stuff and for smaller games is that kill team models can be used in 40k. Necromunda models, they promote the idea of converting them into 40k models. This means that they can get that extra production, or extra sales from 40k players wanting large armies using those models. And as a result, it ups the sales. Also, that's just the way a lot of these miniature games go. Where the main
Comparing
selling
any
point
company
is the
to
miniatures.
GW is an act of slander towards that poor company who has not done anything bad yet.
Whispering their sleep 3D printers are so cool. I found an Etsy seller who sells Hollow Knight inspired French Crusade warband. Ooh. I found a number of them. One thing I don't like about trying to look for 3D printed parts though is just how horrible, you know, some of it is online. It's like, yeah, why is it so not safe for work? That's what I'll say. It's not safe for work stuff on there. Some of it has to be blurred and censored. Pin-up, that's what they refer to a lot of it as, pin-up models. I'm like, I'm trying to just look for some Space Marines. I don't want some pin-up models. I just want some cool tech priest designs. Oathmark has good horse set. War games. I've heard a lot about war games at Atlantic. I mean, don't worry about it too much. As I said, as long as you're not being too potty-mouthed, it's fine. There we go, I've not done over here. Okay, now the war wagon is For me, Etsy is annoying since often the transport fees are like 3 times the model. Etsy, I don't know how it is like if you're in America or whatever. But for me, I can turn it onto so it's only UK or only Europe, and that helps a lot. With transport fees, shipping fees, you'll get the soaked. Because it's like when I was looking for gloves, like these types of sleeve gloves I wear, they were on sale, but they're all from America. So for relatively cheap, but then the shipping price was like 10-20 times the price. And then I found some from Turkey, but the shipping price was still just like 3 times the price, and they weren't even that cheap to begin with. But then they're on from the UK. But the transport fee for Britain is the same as for USA, Australia for me. You can just go, wait, so even going to like the UK sellers is still expensive. Because I never get that often. I find the shipping is free or just like £2 or whatever. But that being said, again, I only buy like it's like fees, and they can come in an envelope. So the shipping is generally relatively cheap, and like fees stuff. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna wait for the roof to dry so I can touch it and do this bit. That front bit, I just realised that I've not done that yet. And then, what time is it? Yeah, then I guess that'll be it for today. There's no Swedish-based Etsy sellers for all of them. Actually, no, I bought some stuff from Sweden recently on Etsy. I can share the seller, but it depends actually. It might not be what you are looking for. Like, often I find the prices shipping from Europe, as long as it's not like really far away, is fine. Like, what was it? Yeah, I got a bunch of these guns from... Well, it's actually not that company. I got these from Sweden. They took a while to actually get delivered, but the shipping price wasn't that bad. But again, they might only be selling like Space Marine bits or whatever. Like the candy. But yeah, I guess if you're in Sweden, it might not be the easiest. Because the other thing you've got from like shipping to Sweden is... a lot of it will come in via plane or boat, wouldn't it? Like, I don't think there's a lot of roads going straight from Europe into Sweden, is there? I'm not sure, I don't know what it's like. For me, it's like €14 shipping if I buy from sellers from Britain. That's ridiculous. I want to see a squad of commandos in your paint style. I am going to eventually get some commandos. I just want to finish the rest of the arcs I've got. Because I really love the commando models. So we will eventually... It'll definitely be like this though. That's the main colour I'll go for them. I'll probably give them a lot of looter stuff. There's only one bridge that goes to mainland Europe and Sweden, the Kalmar Bridge. Yeah, in Britain we have them for high-speed Eurotunnel and stuff, as well as... I think it's because Britain is such a large country in terms of population. It really helps. And because we've got all the ferries as well, constantly going to France. So it means that generally shipping from Europe, I say Europe, Western Europe to Britain is generally not too expensive. Oh. That being said, shipping from Europe did become a lot more expensive with the entire exit debacle. Oh gosh, something just fell off. Oh, that's the little banner. The banner has to be painted last. By the way, Valve is teasing a huge announcement for something releasing in March 2026. Hardware or software? I am guessing something big. Something big. Half-Life remake specifically for Steam VR. And a Part 2 remake, especially for... No, a Part 2 and Half-Life remake that go together hand in hand. And they're both for VR. 10 squats, 3 sets for muffin. Yeah, we need to do exercises. Although we don't really do exercises too much on these handcam streams. Dota 3 announcement. TF... You know what would be the really big thing? Because these types of games are still around. Team Fortress 3. Although I don't think they'll be able to keep that under wraps. I think that would be leaked massively. Or for a new Source engine. Because they have the Source engine, don't they? That they use for Team Fortress and for a bunch of the games. If they updated it, maybe made a... Like tried replacing Unreal Engine as the primary engine that people go to. I think that would be extraordinarily huge. If they announced an engine to compete with Unreal. We'll be releasing a new hat. Look, the Team Fortress community getting a new hat, that is massive. I hope it's Team Fortress, because I really loved the Team Fortress animations that they did. And for stories. I kind of just want them to make more of it. I loved all the fan animation competitions they had going on. Like, I used to just really watch them a lot.
Jetpacks.
They also introduced me to one of my favourite bands to listen to, Live Fiction. Ooh, Team Fortress animations. Jetpacks. Capcom, what do you think about Nintendo's pattern of spawnable I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how to read their patent. I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard some lawyers just saying, yeah, this is just a normal sort of patent. It's very, very specific. While I've heard others go, yeah, this should have never been allowed. And as I said, I don't know what to believe. I've not bothered reading it myself because honestly, I don't really care enough. To bother reading it. Like... I am the definition of uninformed opinion. If it's illegal or should be illegal, I hope it gets turned over. It's not the first time Nintendo's tried doing that sort of thing, though. And there's been a number of times where they've been gotten in trouble for it, especially with the European court system. So ultimately, the thing we'd have to wait for is European courts. Because they're the ones for history of punking Nintendo for its monopolistic practices. And for its anti-consumer practices, which you don't always affiliate with Nintendo until you suddenly remember Nintendo's pricing of games and stuff. I read every patent and it affects every necromancer class in every RPG. If it's that bad, I hope they'll have a difficulty enforcing it. I imagine people... There was a patent a while ago that was pretty big, but no one bothered to combat it because it was too niche. And it would just be like too expensive to do. There's been a few patents like that one where it's like, it's very niche, we don't really need that system or whatever, we don't need loading mini games. I'm not bothering fighting this, but if it's something massive like that, then it's just a matter of time until some big company goes, no, we can't deal with this, let's fight Nintendo on this and we'll probably win. Alternatively, you'll get a class action against it, effectively. I don't think class action would be the correct term for it, but you have basically these, what they're called? Funded things to effectively fight them into the court. Crowdfunded. But it's technically not a class action. There's not lots of people being affected. Different things. They tried to patent the name Warhammer. The Nemesis system from... The thing that I've heard why no one really tried fighting that one is one, it's a very specific patent for a very niche system that they did for the first time ever. No one had really done a Nemesis system like that before, as far as I'm aware. So it's a lot more enforceable than what Nintendo's trying to do. Like, if you try to patent something that loads of people have done before, even if your patent's successful, that does not necessarily hold up in a court of law. But it can potentially reinforce their ability in fighting stuff like, whatever it was, Palworld. The other thing is that one of the reasons I don't think anyone would necessarily try competing with the Nemesis system is it's Yeet, by the way, not through. Gaming patents are stupid and limit creativity in a creative field. I mean, you could just creatively work around a patent. Some people did. I'm not defending the patent. I'm just saying this is like why people wouldn't fight that one, whereas they could fight this one. Because if you're trying to patent something that no one's done before, it's more easier to hold up in a court of law. If you were patenting like something that thousands of other people have done before, it's just not going to hold up. As far as that's what I've heard anyway. Also, yeah, I've already said I'm a Warner Bros. Fangirl. I love Looney Tunes and DC comic animations. The company Koei that makes Dynasty Warrior games once put a patent that limited the amount of enemies that could be on screen at once. I don't think that would hold down very well, but maybe. Because a lot of games have stuff like that works. But it depends how specific it is. Like, if it's an extremely specific niche thing, then it's easier to protect. Whereas if someone does the exact same thing but goes a different way around it, like ignores the patent, it's fine. One of the things about the Nemesis system, when I've looked at the patent, is that you can still have a Nemesis system that doesn't utilize the patent, that doesn't infringe upon it, but it works in the sort of same way, as in, like, you've still got this sort of thing. It's just that companies don't really want to put the time into making that sort of stuff a lot of the time. And then for people who generally would, for independent studios, don't have the money to fight for copyright claims or for patent claims if this big studio came in saying, hey, you're infringing on my patent, and they're totally not, but now they need the money. But for a small independent studio, if they can't fight it, meaning the big companies just don't want to work with it. That's as far as, that's what I've heard about it, because I did watch a video about it, and that's the fact. So that's my partially informed opinion on the Nemesis one. Hi, Redneck Kratos, how you doing? Do you say that Nemesis does so well with me, and it's stuck in one game and can't be innovated on because they can't build on it? Yeah, the Nemesis system I've heard is... I've not played Shadow of Mordor though, so all I've heard is it's apparently a fun thing. Conjuror doesn't understand the fact that nobody likes Warner Bros. Forcing a patent of a Nemesis patent, or the fact that nobody tried to fight in court doesn't mean it's everyone's... No, I'm not saying that. That's not what I was trying to say. I was just saying that it's like, if you compare it to that one, it's... The Nemesis did it first, so it's easier to patent or easier to do whatever with. I mean, it's a kind of scummy thing. But yeah, here we go. Here's our rusty thing, dangad. I'm not saying it was necessarily good. You can't conflate with me just saying something if I defend it. Take-Two Interactive trademarked Take-Two and caused problems for the devs of It Takes Two. There's always a guy who trademarked the word edge in video games. Yeah, that's the thing, is when it comes to a big company trademarking or patenting stuff, it takes another big company to decide to fight it. And that's ultimately what these patents are about. It's about screwing over small companies ultimately, and small game studios. It's not just games, it's like in all sorts of systems. It's just all over the place. Because the small companies and for independent groups won't have the money to fight it. Thanks for the drink. But they're the most likely ones to be affected by it. But when a big company comes along and goes, hey, I've decided I want to make this. The big company, you go, okay, I'm going to fight you on this because I have to if I want to keep my, rights over this. And the big company goes, well, I can win in the courts against you. And ultimately they win. But what they want to do is instead settle out of court. That way they can say they defended their patent and it was settled out of court. And as a result, they don't necessarily have this case where they clearly lost in court already. And a big company is unlikely to want to take it all the way to the thing of stopping them unless they plan to do more with it. So it's also their prerogative to settle out of court. So it just becomes a mess ultimately in the end.
Less yap, more paint.
Yes, lap, more paint. Now, I was waiting for paint to dry. And there's no more painting to do today because it's 11 minutes past 7. But yeah, we got all of the rusty done. Well, maybe not all the rust, because I want to do some rust on all these metal corrugated plates and stuff and corroding along the edges. Same with this thing here that the gun is on. And then the big old bulldozer, the killdozer. Raw. Wait, can I get it into focus? Yeah. I need to get glue on the eyes, and there's definitely lots of places here I need to get back over the black paint. Edge was interesting as it targets a lot of indie devs, but then it tried against EA with the game's Mirror's Edge and lost the trademark in court. Yeah, that's the kind of thing where it goes along. Your hands are a bit shaky. I'm okay-ish. Was a high oh no, I already said hi to you. Rust on for corrugated metal. Yeah, or at least on the edges of it and stuff like that. Or some sort of corrosion. The tank's so rusty, if you ran over by it, you'll get titanus, whatever it's called. Conjure is like a chihuahua. So I always have shaky hands, but with the fact that I don't have my proper gloves today, my hands are a bit shaky because it's harder to grip things. But yeah. Oh, so rusty. So rusty. I like the idea of that the orcs actually just stole this from like a scrapyard or something. Like the death schools. Every orc loots, the death schools steal. Oh. Yeah, it is looking a lot more orky and a lot more ramshackle now at least. And we're going to do more painting and stuff with the blues. And before we do the dirt along the tracks and stuff and being brought up by the tracks, I think we'll do the painting. I also need to go over all of these blue things with some edge highlighting and stuff. Like, that thing just looks terrible. Can't wait for the edge highlights. Over the edge highlights. Yeah. I wonder what happens to machine spirits when orcs convert to vehicle. I imagine a lot of the time for this, like, if a machine spirit in terms of like some sort of AI or computer system on board, I imagine most of the time they'll probably utilize it to some extent, like especially a normal computer system, which is what they're doing over here. But when it comes to AI, I imagine a lot of the time it just gets destroyed and messed up. Or kind of goes into hibernation. But I do imagine they have, like, especially with Land Raiders, I imagine they have to kind of rip out the internals of it and rewire it. Because, you know, the machines, they will probably just keep trying to kill them. Hi, iOS! No, don't cupcat me! No, not all of the AI is dead, dudes. Not all of it's servitors. Like the machine... If it's a machine spirit and it talks and stuff, that is not a servitor, that's proper AI or computer. In fact, the Imperium has quite a lot of computers. It used to do a lot more with the Imperium and having computers, but they seem to have gone a lot more into the... I think it's because people started to like more the idea of servitors and stuff, especially thanks to certain games and books. But I remember it used to be like the giant missiles and cruise missiles they had. I remember it specifically saying they used guidance systems and not just servitors. But then there was like a popular line in a Tau book, or like a story of the Tau finding a person wired into a missile. But I think that's relatively uncommon, but then that ended up becoming a bit more mainstream. I'm not sure, I've not read like all of the books, and a lot of what I have read is a bit out of order. So a lot of the time is they just, you're gonna go now, good night, Dr. Smilex. So how does Imperium justify AI? 3 ways. They deny it completely. 2, they call it a machine spirit and don't view it as an AI. They view it as a spirit of a machine. And 3 is they know it's an AI, they recognize it's an AI, they don't deny it's an AI, but they recognize that they need to use it, and if anyone finds out, they shoot them. Yep. That's the 3 ways that you generally find AI in the Imperium. And AI is still quite widely produced. It's just relatively rare. Like the machine spirits of the Land Raiders are probably at least this simplistic AI to some extent, because a Land Raider is capable of fully functioning and following complex orders, even if its entire crew is dead or abandoned or unconscious. And a bunch of other Imperial vehicles and spaceships do the exact same. So, but a lot of it is just a mixture of denial, calling it machine spirits, and then the rest of it is the Inquisitor effectively Inquisition and the tech priests effectively covering up the AI. It's known that some tech priests do utilize AI still, such as Belisarius Carl himself, and some Inquisitors utilize AI. We also know that some of the ships have AI as well, and some of the battle stations. And as I said, a lot of it's covered up, or a lot of it's hidden, and some of it's hidden in plain sight. A lot of the AI that is used for most, though, like on a lot of ships and battle stations, is ancient stuff, and the Imperium recognizes they cannot get rid of it, because it's like, hey, look at this cool battle station that could destroy an entire Necron fleet by itself. It's really, really cool and really, really nice, and it's willing to help us. And it's like, what do you mean it's willing to help us? Yeah, it's controlled by an AI. Have you tried getting rid of the AI? You know where I just said it could destroy an entire Necron fleet by itself? Yeah, I'm not risking destroying the AI. And on top of that, it's like, yeah, I could destroy the AI, but as I said, it can destroy a Necron fleet by itself. If destroying the AI means that we lose control of most of its systems, and as a result, we won't get access to all that cool firepower. So it's, you know, that's basically the Imperium, the hypocrites. The Imperium can be defined by hypocrisy through and through. Even the Emperor himself was a massive hypocrite through almost every action he did. Do you know how tall the Emperor actually was meant to be or something stupid? Apparently he is only the size of like a normal man. He appears massive, but that's just like how he appears to others because that's how he wants to appear. But apparently, like, if you look hard enough with him, if you're like strong-willed or like have a resistance to psychic power, you can look through his visage or his facade and see the just relatively mundane looking man behind it. And you have to remember, he has been alive like through the entirety of humanity. Like in 40k lore, he is around on Earth right now, and he just looks like a normal dude. Unsub disliked for a garlic under the door. No, not the garlic. Don't forget to like the stream. Every like on this stream is another garlic thrown at Talant. His house will stink for days. Wait, he lives in my walls. No! Oh, goodness. Internets. Websites. No, I've already been to the website. There's nothing here. That's cool. This is really cool, but I decided against getting it. Oh, oh, that looks cool. Oh my goodness, this image is different from this image. Look, so you got the Power Fist guy there with the Stern Guard. And this guy's here. But now the Power Fist is there and that guy's... Oh my goodness. It's like two different images. I think that's because Company Champion... Yeah, he isn't meant to be with the Stern Guard squad. Someone did this picture wrong. He's meant to be with Company Heroes. This guy is meant to be with the Stern Guard. Like, as you can see,
GW has been caught.
Helmet.
Bankruptcy is imminent.
I think having the Emperor of Mankind actually be an impressive dude is 100 times cooler than doing the contrarian approach. The Emperor is actually an impressive dude. He just looks like a... Like, you have to remember, he's an incredibly powerful psychic immortal. He can appear and... I think apparently he can appear and change his appearance as much as he wants. And it's... But the lore around it isn't very... Catachan refresh when I'm hoping it's with 11th edition, like the launch of it, the starter set will be Catachan and Arts. I'm hoping. But yeah, it's meant to be like that. Oh yeah, the lore is inaccurate. When it's not inaccurate, it's not consistent. Like, some of it says that it's a facade and behind it's a normal person. Others say that he can just literally just change his form as he pleases and that it's not just a facade. He wants to be a big powerful person who looks like an angel. He is a big powerful person who looks like an angel. He wants to look like a normal dude. He'll just look like a normal dude. I think that's cool. I like the idea of everything related to the Emperor feeling like mythology, where all we're getting is like 10th hand information from it. I really love that about Warhammer, and I really want them to go back to doing more of that. Oops, I accidentally opened it again. But yeah, this dude is part of the Company Champions. He's meant to be a Stern Guard. Like, this squad has Ancient, Heavy Bolter Person, Company Champion, Captain, and basically a Stern Guard guy. And the Stern Guard have 4 normal dudes, well, 3 normal dudes, one with a special weapon, and then guy with Power Fist. Or with, you know, the Sergeant. And as you can see, he's got the Veteran Sergeant helmet. Sigmar is everything the Emperor wishes he was. No, Nagash and the Nagash is the equivalent of the Emperor in Warhammer Fantasy. Sigmar in Warhammer Fantasy, Nagash is the equivalent of the Emperor, while Sigmar is you know, the things aren't working very well. I didn't see the Cupcake appear at all. Yeet. Terrific. Terrific. What was that? The angelic noise. That was you yeeting Angel Cupcake at me, but the cupcake didn't appear on screen because TITS must be messed up. No, it must have just missed me. No, it's working out. See, there's Angel Cupcake. But, oh yeah, this thing sold out so quickly, I don't know why. It makes sense, actually. It's got Tyrannofex. Tyrannofex is so meta. Why is my cursor not appearing on screen? Oh, there it is. Tyrannofex is incredibly meta. Mouseceptor is really cool. This kit is really expensive to get this thing and this thing as they come together. And this is just a cool model. This thing's not sold out yet. Neither has this one. This one sold out immediately, apparently. This one obviously not sold out yet. Thanks for the cupcake. Why did he get pinned? Did you pin him up under the map or something, or did it just not work? He didn't. Oh no. Oh no. Let's pick up. Before we go, let's pick up. Where is he? Where is he? I don't see him. French puffed. You can explode yourself by typing explode. Exclamation mark explode, sorry. Where? I can't see iOS anywhere. Sylvester's Night Parade, Redneck Kratos, Native Engine Tony, French Puff. Yeet. Maybe I was never real. You did a jump or something so I can see it. No, that makes it harder. Maybe it did just like pin him off the board. Oh, there, is this you? Yeah, there you go. Are you happy now? You pinned him to the wrong place to land. The pin coordinates are broken. It's like I'm looking for pin. At Sylvester stands 1-1. That didn't seem to work. Yeah, pinning seems to be a bit broken. Oh no. But anyway, I'm gonna give you all a big old love heart today. Yeah. And thank you. Thank you for coming to the stream. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. And remember to work hard, play harder. Don't forget to like the stream. Eat good food. Sleep well. Take care of yourself. Be kind to others and vice versa. And remember to dream of cupcakes, but don't eat the cupcakes as a friends, not food. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Wee. Love you all.